Good morning. It's Louise and it's the SiGNAL BiZHUB. Everybody come in and join us. Take a seat. It's lovely to see you all here. Say hello in the chat so that we know you're here. It's slightly different today because obviously Stu is otherwise occupied. He is going to be with us very shortly. So I'm in the hot seat today and it's lovely to see you all. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And let's see who we've got in the room so far. Let's have a look. So Lorna's in. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Lorna. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Who else have we got in the room today? Let's have a look. Sue. Morning, Sue. Angie, good morning. Lovely to see you all on a bright, sunny, sort of foggy day. Isn't it dark? Isn't it cold? Every year we say that, don't we? Every year when the clocks go back, it hits us like a surprise. I don't know. I can never get used to it. So yeah, morning, Helen. Nice to see you. Morning, Noam. Oh, looking fabulous. Thank you, Suzanne. Oh, that's nice. We're still getting used to this, aren't we? It would be so lovely to see you all, but in the second session, we'll have sight of you all, so it'll be great. Hi, Sheila. Lovely to see you too. Gosh, lots of people here today. Very lovely to see you. And there we go. And Sheila and John and Fiona. Morning, John. Morning, Fiona. Nice to see you too. Right. It's all been handed over to me today for the first bit, so let's get the show on the road. It's the SiGNAL BiZHUB, it's Friday, and most of you will probably know how this all works. But we're going to do it slightly differently today because obviously Stu is coming to talk to us later. So I have a which is always lovely to have a co-host, and it's none other than Emma Selvey. Come on in, Emma, come and join me. There she is.
Hello, I'm trying to start my video. There we go. Hello, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Lou. You're looking very fresh and bright and lovely.
Oh, well, it's lovely. This is the first time we've done this together. So yeah, it's kind of like, it's really different, but always nice to see you, Emma. So
it's lovely to be on camera. Well, yeah, very, very pleased. It's just nice to be the person who's getting up and doing my makeup and getting dressed ready to be on camera rather than being behind the scenes, which I usually am. So
it does really make it does make a huge difference, doesn't it? Getting up, getting dressed, putting your face on. I try and do it every morning because otherwise I'd just be in my pajamas all day. So every morning try and get up and that, but it is nice to do that. So yeah, lovely to see you, Emma. Right.
Thank you.
So today, it's a new month, it's a new day, it's a new dawn. We probably could break into song, but we won't.
It's a new lockdown.
Exactly. So let me just share my screen and begin. Here we go.
And any minute now?
Any minute now.
Any minute now.
Just a quick note on common sense. We just wanted to just remind you that the guidance given in the BiZHUB session is general in nature. So make sure that the ideas presented to you, use some common sense, diligence before applying them to your business. It goes without saying, but we just wanted to say that to you. Yes, welcome to our members and our guests. And we obviously have Lou and Emma. So
Lou and Emma show today. Yeah.
It's really good to see that. So that's really great to see Emma like that. Yes, welcome to all guests. I'm not sure whether we have anybody in. We did have a few booked on, joining us later, but we will be sending an email out to any new guests to tell them all about the hub and what is happening in the hub that we do every week. At this point, I will just mention to all of you, have a think about your wins and learnings because we'll be asking you about those a little bit later on. So today is obviously the BiZHUB, and we do it every Friday. And week one is key content. Week 2 is the inspiration session. Week 3 is the member spotlight, and week 4 is the mini mastermind. I'm sure you're all familiar with the format, but it's always good to just reiterate and make sure that you look onto the website, have a look what we've got coming up. We've got some really, really good sessions coming up.
Can I just say, Lou, I can't see your screen yet. Have you shared? Because I just saw Suzanne said in there that she can't see your screen yet either. So I thought it was just me because I'm not used to being a panelist. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now I can see it. Perfect.
Can you see it?
I can. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Can everybody see it?
Everybody can see it.
Lovely.
That's lovely. Well, you were doing brilliantly anyway.
Thank you.
You hardly needed the screen.
That's okay. I just rambling on. Okay, so the timings that we're going to do today is as normal. We're going to have a quick introduction. Emma and I are going to have a quick introduction with you. And then, of course, we've got this week's guest speaker. And if there are any guests, Emma and I will talk to them after the session. But then we're going to have a quick coffee break and come back with a slightly different second session. And Emma and I are going to talk about that in a minute. And we're going to have the second session. So make sure that you can come along to the second session. And
it's a lockdown special, isn't it?
It is.
Special Q&A about what us small businesses are going to do to survive this next, hopefully very short lockdown. So just a quick taste of that.
LinkedIn Local we've got coming up as well. Emma, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we've got LinkedIn Local. It's a special Christmas edition. I believe we have some very special carnival type Christmas guests. Am I allowed to reveal?
No, I think we've got a celebrity. I mean, we've got a celebrity coming. Got a celebrity coming. So don't miss it.
It's no spoilers. No, a very Christmassy celebrity.
Yeah, as we're not doing a LinkedIn Local in December, so we decided to make November the new December for Christmas at LinkedIn.
Are we inviting people to wear Christmas hats and Christmas colours?
Definitely.
Bring a Christmas drink and let's have a bit of pre-Christmas fun.
I know, it should be good actually. It's really, the LinkedIn Local is such a great event because you meet new people, you know, you're talking to people that you haven't spoken to before, but also to really good friends as well. So it's a really informal event. And it's going to have a Christmas theme this month.
I think if you haven't done it before, do come along and try it. It's because we get into those little cozy breakout rooms, and those rooms go on for about 10 minutes, don't they? So you do get a chance to really connect and have nice chats with people. It's very light-hearted. We have non-businessy conversations as well as business ones. So if you haven't tried it before, come along and try it. You might be surprised.
Brilliant. And let's talk about November. It's all about business support. It's really, really important, as we've all experienced during this lockdown, more than ever, to be honest, to have that close community and that business support. And we're all here for each other. So it couldn't have come at a better time, really, to have this subject, which is planned for November. So obviously today we've got Stuart talking to us about smashing goals. He's got a really, really good talk prepared for you. So it'll be really great to hear that. Next week, we've got Andy Tree coming along. He's not only an accountant, but he's a BiZHUB member and he's a local councillor. So he's going to be talking because there's so many changes. I mean, I don't know about you, Emma, but I'm glued to the screen in the evenings to see what is going to change, keeping up to date with all of these things. I mean, Emma has been fantastic at keeping up to date with what's been going on.
I have to say, yes, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the second session, isn't it? But it is a question of watching this unfold, you know, hour by hour as well as day by day, and keeping up. So for example, the self-employed income grants have been changing daily since November the 2nd. So we're going to be briefing you on that later as well.
Brilliant.
Just I want to pick up something in the chat, can I quickly?
Yes,
because Shana has because we're just all going into this second lockdown, which is obviously really difficult for many of us as small businesses, but I just want to say it looks like it's not going to be nearly as hard as the last one. And Shana has just put in the chat that her alternative health centre is able to stay open and all her practitioners are able to work as normal, which is really fantastic news. I mean, what a relief. And I understand that Joanna, the physio at SiGNAL, is able to continue with most of what she's doing. My dentist is open, which it wasn't before, and so on. So hopefully there's lots more stories from you guys about how things are going to be a little bit easier and we're going to be able to operate our businesses much more productively than we were in the last lockdown.
Definitely.
So I know SiGNAL, for example, is open. We're business as usual. Nothing's really changing at SiGNAL. The offices are open. The staff are in the staff room, just as normal, exactly as we were in October. I'm hoping that'll be the same for most of you as well.
Yeah, I do think it is. I mean, although, you know, this lockdown is a lockdown and we need to treat it like a lockdown, we're more prepared. So I think when it happened last time, we were all like batten down the hatches and everything. But now we've got such good controls in the spaces in which we work that we are able to stay open if we can't work from home. I mean, obviously following government guidelines. And if you can work from home, that is what they're saying. However, if you have got an office space and you can go to it and it's safe and secure and you can't work as effectively from home, you can use your office space. So I think we're a bit more prepared this time round.
Yeah, and absolutely.
A lot of businesses are feeling that. Yeah. Just going on to week 3, we've got the member spotlight. We've got Noam Jenkins and Lorna Smith, both in the spotlight. I am waiting for one further person. I have put some feelers out, but if you are wanting to come onto the spotlight, please drop me a line and let me know in case those ones don't come through. So it'd be lovely to see you there. And mini mastermind. I know Stuart's going to be talking about this in his talk as well. So please, if you haven't been to mastermind, book on. Come and see what it's all about. It really is worthwhile coming along to that. And then skipping along to December, can you believe it? I'm saying the words December, which is just around the corner. Unbelievable. We've got a fantastic talk by Mark Selby. He's coming along talking about preparing for 2021.
Oh, I love Mark Selby.
I know. He's got such a
voice. Yeah,
not only what he says, but how he says it. It's a lovely talk. So
yeah, he's a really interesting guy as well. So it's worth having a quick look at what he's going to be talking about and have a quick look at his bio. Find him on LinkedIn. He's got a huge amount of business experience locally here in Hampshire. So really worth talking to him.
He really does, yeah. And then in the second week, we're going to do the SiGNAL highlights and really just recap what we've learned, recap what we've put into practice, direct you and signpost things that you should be looking at. We're going to be looking at all the celebrations. Possibly, there are going to be some things that, haven't gone as well, but how we've overcome it. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about. And
quite a year to look back on. I was going to say we have James Child coming in as well, and he's had quite a year as well on the board and regeneration on the new town centre. So,
and not only that, he's got some really exciting things to tell us what's happening in Borden coming up. So that's a really good session to come along and just have a bit of a roundup of what we've been doing. And then, of course, the third week in December is the final week for the year. So we're going to do a Christmas BiZHUB session, and it's just going to be fun and laughter and quiz. I did put to Stuart yesterday, I think we should do charades. Okay, his Facebook. How are we going to do charades on Zoom? And I'm like, okay, I've got a few weeks to practice, but we're going to do charades. So it's going to be really fun.
Good idea.
I think it's going to be it's not Christmas without charades as far as I'm concerned. So yeah,
that's right.
So that's what we're going to be doing. So we've got some really good fun things to look forward to and really interesting talks coming up. So please, join us, come and see us. Come and see us in the room, come and have a look at us and see what we've got to show you, because we need each other more now than ever, I have to say. And on that note, I just want to say to everybody, if you just want to have a chat, or you just want to have a conversation, or you just need to bounce something, give us a call. That's what we're here for. We're all, we're available. Come and talk to us. If you're just feeling a bit down in the dumps, or you're just having a fantastic win during the week and you just want to talk, let's come and talk to us. We're always here for you. Instagram. Emma, do you want to talk about the Instagram?
Yeah, I was just going to say Ellie has been doing a fantastic job at revamping our Instagram, and it's paying huge dividends, actually. I think for the first time, we have more traffic coming to our website from Instagram than Facebook this month. And anyway, to help us help you on Instagram, if you could just drop us a DM, then we will give you a shout out. That's how it works. So we've got 1,400 followers, and our Instagram is getting a lot of attention at the moment. So do connect with us. Do tell us what you're doing on Instagram. We'd love to help you out with a shout out.
Brilliant. Right, win, learning, or both. I see a few people have put some things in already. Let's have a look and see.
Yeah, so Lisa's passed her bookkeeping exam, which is amazing. I know she took that this week. So well done, Lisa. What else have we got here?
Oh, Sheila Lemon has said she had a learning. There is no cancellation process to hurry my much needed hip operation. Any high priority case is in the lottery. So I have to wait to see if my number is called. Well, fingers crossed, Sheila. I really hope it is.
So Sue has been preparing for lockdowns. This goes back to what you were just saying, Lou, about this time. We all know what we're doing. We're ready. We've got organised. And Sue's managed to see all her clients that were booked in for November before the lockdown. So that's brilliant. Well done. And she's made products and delivered them so that her clients can still get the benefit of her oils during lockdown. So she's all ready. And she's even stocked up with cuddles from her grandchildren to see her through the month, and had a pre-lockdown haircut. So well done. That's pretty good stuff. Yeah.
And Suzanne, she said she's had a great week this week, which is fantastic. 3 exciting things. My 3rd training session with Amy was up to 40 people split into 90-minute sessions and feedback was excellent or very good. That's fantastic.
Oh, that is
40
good
people.
news.
That's really, really good. The second one was, thanks to SiGNAL, we have at last launched some marketing. So watch this space. Hey, very good. And number 3, I had a photo shoot at SiGNAL, which was scary, but fun for my new website, which is due out in December. And I have to say, I've seen the pictures and you look gorgeous. So
yes,
well
I agree. The pictures are lovely. So that was with Ginny, wasn't it? She's done a really lovely job. Really lovely job. So Angie, there's a collaboration win here. I love a bit of collaboration. So Angie's put Keith in contact with a client of hers and they're partnering so that she's very happy for them both. So that's brilliant. Thanks, Angie.
Brilliant. And SiGNAL had a win, actually. We've got a new SiGNAL Village resident in the big house, Chris Tabard, who has a construction company. So yeah, that's a really good win.
Yes, welcome, Chris. Is he here today?
He's not here, no.
Not here. Okay. Okay, I've yet to meet him actually, so looking forward to that. It's always nice to meet a new tenant, new resident. We're very full actually in SiGNAL. I think we're about to let our very, very last office space for the moment. So it's been a busy week and a busy month on that front.
It definitely has. Just a last one here. My win from Michael Stopford. My win is a client's win. Oh, hang on, where's it gone? Oh, there we go. My win is a client's win. With the furlough extension, they can keep all their employees on their books. And it just couldn't have come at a better time, could it? So yeah, well done.
That's right,
really,
absolutely.
Really
finally, well done to Fiona and John, because the process plant inquiries is rising. The number of process plant inquiries is rising. Probably, I'm sure that is better SEO on your part, John and Fiona, and all your marketing paying off. So well done for that.
Brilliant.
And
that's all the wins.
2 already.
42, yeah.
Bye. Goodness me.
So today we're talking about the secret to smashing goals. And Emma, if you would like to introduce our guest speaker for today.
I can introduce our guest speaker. It's somebody we all know very well. He is someone who is known for his creative thinking and, believe it or not, his loud suits. Can you guess who I'm talking about yet? He's someone who's been running businesses for over 25 years. He's a trained engineer, an actor, a lookalike. He's run an entertainment business. He's grown a design practice, and he even has his work in the V&A Museum. He's no stranger to websites or web marketing. You know exactly who I'm talking about. We're so lucky to work with him. And it's my very great pleasure to introduce to you Stuart Morrison.
Hello, Steve.
Morning.
Hello. Thank you so much for that introduction. It was like sitting there, like waiting for This Is Your Life. If you're old enough, if you know, you know. Tonight on This Is Your Life. Fantastic.
Brilliant. Lovely to see you, Stu.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I hope that the talk holds up to that wonderful bigging up as I was introduced there.
Of course it will.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right, we're gonna leave you here. If we're right in the wings if you need us, Stu. Like you said, gonna need us.
Cool. Brilliant.
Hello everyone. You're in safe hands, everyone.
Bye bye. I've been following the chat. It's great to see all those wins and all those successes in the lead up to lockdown and beyond. So let's get going with today's talk and help you smash some more goals. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going. There we are. Now then, if you've got any questions, you can chuck them in the chat. If I can answer them quickly, I will do. Otherwise, I'll roll them forward into the second session and answer them before Emma gets going. So let's get on. You can all see the screen. You can all see the slides. Just give me a yes, just to make sure that you are seeing me and I've done it all right. Just a Y would be helpful. That's great. Okay, so the secret to smashing goals. Now, there isn't one secret, okay? It's more like a load of secrets all tied together and applied in the right way. And I'm going to cover it all today. And it's going to pull together quite a lot of what we've already covered. And you'll see how these various talks and topics that we've been having throughout the year all come together to help you smash those goals. So this is what it looks like. The talk is going to start with recapping a few of those key topics in the months that we've just had, but we're going to skip over them really quickly. I'm not going to labour the point. I'm just going to remind you of them. And if you need a refresher, you can pop back into your account on signalborden.org and look at the past topics. So, but it's a process, and that process begins by finding and saving more of your time, okay? Because you're going to need to find that time to help improve your productivity, okay? So you're doing more in the same amount of time or less time. That gives you more time to plan, grow, and review what you're doing. And then we're going to cover why accountability works and what part that plays in this process, and then show you how to take your business up to that next level. So let's get going. So finding and saving more time. How do you find and save more time? Well, we covered a topic in depth through the year, various talks, but it was about really putting your to-do list in your calendar and not being distracted, focusing and making sure that you're doing those tasks that are moving you towards your goals, breaking down those big chunky tasks into smaller bite-sized chunks, and then putting that in your diary and creating a plan and rescheduling it if you require to do so. You know, it's no shame in missing a small milestone, but rescheduling it so you are still moving towards your goals. So you track your time and ensure your schedule is moving you towards your goals, your big goals overall. So we covered some of this with Louise's talk on the 4th of September. Get organised, pop back into your account and have a look at that. And Rebecca Newenham gave us some great insights in how she grew her business using great habits, some timekeeping, and building it up to the success it is today. So pop back into your accounts and see that there. If you improve your time and improve your habits, this leads to improved productivity. It must do. You're getting more done in less time. So what do you do with that time, that additional time, and that improved productivity? So let's look at the improved productivity. You have to review that progress regularly. So it's no good just upping your game, getting more done and going, I'm getting more done. You have to plan and make sure that your plan is being put in place to move you towards your goal. So even a one-person business should regularly review their progress and update their plan accordingly, because things come along. I mean, we're living in very uncertain times at the moment. So it is absolutely key that even though progress may have slowed, you are still pointing and moving in the right direction. That's why we have goals. And then you might look quite regularly at what went right, what went wrong, how do you improve those outcomes, what learnings did you have? Remember, wins and learnings? And can you get somebody else to help you improve those outcomes? As we always say, you know, you can't build a business on your own. So maybe look at how competitors solve the issue. Is that right for your business? Is there another way of doing it? Can you do it more efficiently, more effectively? And what actions or plans can you put in place to prevent the issue happening again? So what sort of things can you see going wrong, and what can you do to put it right? It's not rocket science, it really isn't, but you do need that review process as part of the overall business strategy, because otherwise you'll just barrel along, not looking at what you're doing, and before you know it, you'll find something breaks strategically that takes a lot of effort to fix. And if you're receiving the same sort of issues in your business over and over again, they're repeating, it's probably a symptom of a broken part of the process or lack of training or a poor strategy. Okay, so if there are problems, they are usually symptoms of a bigger issue. So don't just look at solving the problem, step back from the problem and get a much wider view and go, how does this problem fit into the overall process? And how do I improve the process so this problem goes away, so I don't have to just fix that problem every time? So if you improved your productivity, this gives you the chance for more time to plan, grow, and review your business. Okay, so this is the key part to smashing your goals. Okay, not just having a review, but having a plan and knowing what that growth plan looks like. Okay, so you've got the time, you've found some time, you've done your timepiece, that's led to increased productivity, you've got review feedback in there, and you're now able to look at the areas in your business where you can deliver more for customers, or have more space to sell, or do more marketing. So this is the next step. This is what all successful business owners do. They find time to work, and you've heard me say this many, many times, and you're probably very familiar with it yourself, but they find time to work on their businesses, not in their businesses. And if that's a new idea to you, just let that sink in a minute. When you're doing a task, are you working on your business, or are you working in your business? Because if you've swapped hats from the strategic tasks that you need to do to grow your business to the day-to-day work that helps customers get what they want from your business, then if you're doing too much of the delivery to the end user, the customer, then you're not necessarily working on the overall strategy in your business. And there are some warning signs. There's some very clear warning signs. Okay, so if you're a one-person business, you're going to be doing everything yourself, but you're doing all of the customer work yourself, and you're there for every decision, and you're not even thinking about, how do I delegate this work? How do I pass this work to somebody else so that I can go and find more customers? You might be checking all of the delegated work if you have got to the point where you're using freelancers or have staff, but you're checking their work almost obsessively. You're there for every decision, and you're often checking that work early in the morning or late at night after you've done all your hours. There has to come a point where you have to start trusting the people that you are employing, whether it's freelance or permanent, to deliver the work at a standard. And that's why training and having a process comes into play, because that's the only way you can determine whether or not they're hitting the numbers that you need them to hit and doing the work in the timescales allotted. You might not have any long-term plans. It's fine to put your business onto autopilot and think about these bigger issues if you've got a lot of problems going on in your life, in your personal life. And we've all had that this year. A lot of us have experienced many different problems from just the personal side of it, which have slowed our businesses down. But if you're not thinking about the long-term plans of, where does this business go? Is it a lifestyle business that will end when I decide to retire and it's just about income at the moment, or I'm growing an income that I can either leave to somebody, or an asset, the business is becoming an asset and I want to sell it and receive some money from that sale? But if you have long-term plans, you've got a much better chance of understanding whether what you're doing now is going to make you get to and reach those positions in future. You might be saying, I'm too busy frequently. If you're constantly busy and you're constantly doing the customer facing work and you're working in your business, then you cannot possibly have the time, energy and focus to work on your business. So this is why having the time to deliver to yourself and your business what you need to do to grow it is so important. It's great delivering that stuff to customers, but what are you going to do so that you're advancing your business, and this time next year you're in a better position? Now, the world is in turmoil at the moment. It seems like, you know, new rules are being thrown out every day, so it seems like it might be hard to plan. But if you don't plan, you're like a boat in a storm being tossed on a raging sea. A plan is like a motor. It gives you some kind of direction. No matter what's going on, you can move forward, even if it's slowly. You stick to the plan and you adjust it accordingly. You might be thinking to yourself, you're not making the money that you would expect to make, or you should expect to make in your business. You know, other people in other businesses seem to be making more money, and it's not just appearances, that they just seem to have more work on. You don't have a clear long-term vision. Like I said, you have no strategy to build or exit the business, and you're possibly feeling like, I've survived another year, but I don't feel like I've progressed. All of these are warning signs that you're working too much in your business, and you do not have a plan to work on your business, or you're not spending enough time working on your business. And you can't grow your business without a clear goal, a detailed plan, and help. You need those three things. Otherwise, you're just doing whatever comes along, whenever it comes along, and reacting to it. And unfortunately, that doesn't create a long-term success strategy. All of the successful businesses and business people have a goal. And even if they fall short of it, there are learnings along the way that will allow them to reassess their goal and maybe refocus the business to get closer to it. So having a goal is not necessarily going to prevent you from changing if you need to, because you've got that feedback loop working into it. So you have to have time spent working on your business and not in it. And it's very important. And that feedback loop, that review process, has to have very clear and measurable KPIs, or key performance indicators, if you're not familiar with that acronym. And those are numbers that allow you to tell whether the business is moving towards or away from the goals. Okay, and it might be simple metrics on a dashboard that you just review every day, every week. But there might be certain numbers in your business which tell you whether or not it's growing, expanding, or contracting, or just stagnant. Your customer acquisition costs might be going up. You know, are there factors in play that mean that you maybe have to change what you do and how you deliver it to your customers? It might just be simply the number of customers you have. You know, is our churn rate too high? The number of customers, that new customers we have to acquire to stay stationary. The average income or profit per customer, you might look at that as a number and think to yourself, you know, we're making less in a margin, and look at why the margins are being eroded. You might look at returns and complaints. You know, customer satisfaction is a big KPI. There are things called net promoter scores, as whether or not you've got people out there actively promoting your business by word of mouth versus detracting from your business by suggesting that people shouldn't use it. Or you might use a completely different metric. It might be employee satisfaction and retention. It might be really important that the people you're working with are happy. You might be looking at metrics online, you know, new visitors to your website versus repeat visitors. And it might be that you see an upswing in income when you've got repeated visitors. They come the first time, they have a look. They come the second time, they've built their trust up a little more. They've seen maybe another post you've done elsewhere, or on a video on YouTube. They come back and they're much more prepared to trust you with a conversation, an estimate, a quote, or something like that. So looking at numbers like that can help. Or it might be hours spent on a sales call, or the number of sales calls made. You know, it's just recording numbers that allow you to see why possibly the outcomes that you're trying to achieve are not necessarily happening, or are happening, and what you can do to improve those. It might be that the number of sales calls made is a direct correlated number to the number of customers you get. Well, if you know that, and you know your customer acquisition cost, you can suddenly build in, well, I could maybe outsource those phone calls to somebody who can do them for me. So these are all reasons why you review and you have KPIs, so you can start to manipulate those numbers to give you an insight into the factors that are influencing your success and the success of your business. So you have to have a clear plan with measurable outcomes, and that's what those KPIs are measuring, and then be personally accountable for those outcomes. So it's no good saying, I want to achieve this, and these are the measurements that I am looking at to make sure that I achieve that, and then locking it in a drawer and not telling anyone. because that accountability piece is the key. That is the real nub and secret to most successful people smashing their goals. So why does accountability works? Why is accountability a key piece of the puzzle? Accountability is important. Okay, now we all run our businesses, and it may feel sometimes like the customer is always in charge because you're always jumping around and doing what they say. But I would point at my previous slide, which says you're probably working too much in your business and not on your business, or not spending any time on working on your business. But you have to be accountable for the goals that you set yourself. And if you make that a public accountability, yeah, you are much less likely to make to let things slide, because we've all done it. We've all set ourselves a lofty goal, and then as we get closer to it and we realize that we aren't doing the work because we're focused on what the customer wants and we're letting that take priority, it diminishes in our mind how important that goal was, until eventually you completely miss it, you forget about it, and you try and convince yourself that it didn't really matter and that you'll find something else to focus on at some point in the future. And then before you know it, you don't have any goals and you have no accountability for it. So that's why it's accountable, because we've all gone into business to look out for ourselves and to make our own decisions. You know, the best thing about being self-employed is you're the boss. The worst thing about being self-employed is you're the boss. You make all the decisions. So that's why public accountability is really important. And you need to be accountable to people that you respect and trust, so that when they do give you feedback, whether that's positive or negative, you do take it on board. You do listen to it. You don't dismiss it out of hand. So business leaders need to stay accountable, because otherwise they don't have any accountability. There's no one in their business to hold their feet to the fire for achieving those goals. The customers don't care if your business is growing. They just care that you're delivering enough for them. So you need that accountability piece built in, baked into your entire process. And communicating the clear and actionable goals that you want to achieve to others, that then feed back to you why they think that's a great thing or a bad thing, or what you could maybe change or tweak. That's what leads to success, because it's like a positive feedback loop. You get that feedback, you make those improvements, you see the sense that that person is talking, and you are able to progress that much faster. That accountability piece is so important to prevent your goals from being forgotten. Like I said, you know, they're really big in your mind as really important, but as they start to slide, they diminish. They grow in importance again when somebody says to you, do you remember you said that you were going to do that? Yeah, why aren't you doing it? And suddenly knowing that you're going to have to explain that to someone keeps the focus on that goal, so that you eventually deliver on it and can have the conversation of, I did that. That's why we ask you about your wins, because it's great to share those. It's also great to share your learnings. You know, okay, I didn't achieve this, but I learned that, which means I now know something more about my business, my industry, my customers. That it's all useful feedback. And defining your goals to someone else just makes it concrete, makes it real. It's out there in the universe. Somebody else knows about it. They know your intention. And that's a scary thing. That can be so scary, because it feels like, well, I've got to do it now. And that's the point. That's why the accountability piece is so important. It also means that somebody else is there thinking and maybe recognizing possible risks and roadblocks. So you say, oh, well, I'm going to do this. And they might ping back something. Well, have you thought about this, that, or the other? And it's great to put that in context, because that prevents those possible risks and possible roadblocks from becoming real problems. So having that kind of feedback is useful. And it allows you to remain aligned to your initial goals. I spoke about what's the purpose of your business, what's the ultimate outcome for your business. And having the accountability piece allows you to communicate to somebody, hey, this is what I want to achieve with my business in this time scale, and these are the methods that I'm going to use. If you can spot anything, I'll break down my plan on the way, and I will focus on those various issues that come up. But those are the ultimate, everything that I do should be moving me towards that. And then the person that's helping you with the accountability can check in with that and say, oh, well, great. Okay, yeah, you want to achieve that. I can see that you're doing the right things, or you're not doing the right things as they see it. So if you have goals but no accountability, then you don't really have goals. What you have is wishes and dreams. And we all know what happens with wishes and dreams. They just sort of bubble around, they float around, but making a clear and actionable plan around a goal and communicate it to someone else, oh, well, that's way more concrete. And that can be scary. I take that on. Yeah, I can see how that can be scary. But it doesn't have to be if you've got the right supportive environment. And we really hope that SiGNAL is a place that you can feel that your goals and your wishes and dreams can be turned into actionable steps towards your goals, and you will trust us to help you. That's the whole point of not being able to build a business on your own, is the accountability piece on top of all of the other practical stuff, workshop space and all the rest of it, but the accountability piece. And there's also another byproduct of accountability. It helps productivity, because it clarifies what you need to do and to take action on, and the impact that taking that action will create. So it's almost like a triage for your actions. Well, I could go here and do that, but I really need that hour to focus on this thing that gets me closer to my goals, because I know that I'm going to have to talk to my accountability partner, and they will then say, well, why did you do that and not this thing here? So it helps you focus your productivity. It can help procrastination as well, because you can phone up your accountability partner and say, hey, look, I'm a bit stuck. I want to do this, but I've got this other opportunity. Convince me what's the right and the wrong thing to do. And if you've got a good accountability partner, they're not going to just let it slide because, hey, this is a fun thing and this is a slightly duller thing, but this is the thing that gets you closer to your goal. I was having a conversation with a friend at the weekend, and she said, when do you want to retire? And I said, well, I've always had in my head 60, but I don't know if I'll ever just stop. I love what I do. I love talking to business owners. I love helping businesses, but I would probably slow down at 60. And she said, right, so you've got 8 years between now and when you're 60. Well, next year it'll be 7 years. So let's say 7 years between your now and your 60. If you have 12 pay packets a year, then you've got somewhere in the region of 84 pay packets between now and when you retire. And that kind of focuses your mind. You're like, oh, so I've made a list 1 to 84, and every month I'm ticking it off. Okay. And next to it are going to be some financial goals. And I'm going to make sure that I communicate that to my accountability partner and focus myself on those numbers, because ultimately that's going to get me to the position that I can dip in and out of projects as I want, rather than doing it for financial, household financial reasons. So it gives you a clear action plan to follow when you have clearly laid out your goals and the steps and communicated them to your accountability partner. And accountability partners help to also clarify and identify concrete measurable goals, so they can look at what you're trying to achieve and go, oh, that would be quite interesting. How are you going to get there along the way? And that's a sort of a side goal. Oh, I can achieve that, and that moves me towards that and prevents me from doing that. Yeah, brilliant. So being able to discuss the plan, that always is going to help. And you can check in regularly with them. It gives you more momentum. It prevents the procrastination of, well, I'll just have that extra hour in bed, or I'll quit an extra hour early. This isn't just mindless work, though. This is focused work. This is work that is moving you towards your goals. And the accountability partner is also there to help you celebrate those small wins and push you on to the next milestone and give you that pat on the back and say, you did a really great job. The amount of times I speak to a business owner and say to them, what's going on? Had any wins? How's it going? Oh, no, nothing really, just sort of ticking along. And then 5 minutes into the conversation, yeah, I've just won this big contract, or I just got 2 new customers, or I've just passed this exam. And you're like, that's a really big win. Let's take a moment to just acknowledge you moved your business forward. And then, oh yeah, I guess I did, yeah. And it's like we're so focused on just doing the work that sometimes stepping back and admiring what you've done and patting yourself on the back requires somebody outside of your mindset to recognize it and point at it and say, should we take a moment and just acknowledge that you've done a really good job there? Or the other side, you know, if you've made a complete klutz of it, having somebody go, yeah, well, it's not that bad. Look, you know, these pieces went right. You just need to improve that bit. Well, let's look at that. And then you go back. Like I said, you know, a broken process is a symptom of a bigger problem. So your internal accountability will grow by having an accountability partner to help you keep on track. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a massive, great big formalized thing. It can literally be somebody that you can check in or checks in on you on a regular basis. And that's what helps you to take your business up a level. Having that time to work on your business allows you to see the things that are broken, not aligned with your goals. Maybe you can strip them out of the business. I don't need to do that. Yes, we'll lose 2 customers, but that's not my core competence. I'm much happier doing this. I'd much rather have the time to spend on 2 customers in this area of my business because I am much happier doing that. And those are strategic decisions that you can only make when you have a clear review, KPI, and goal orientated process in your business. I'm sure many of you will know about this, the hierarchy of competence. This isn't mine. This is out there. A lot of people attribute it to Maslow, but it's nothing to do with him actually. So there are basically 4 levels of competence. There's unconscious competence, which is something that you do without even thinking about it. It's like making a cup of tea. You're on the phone and you're just making a cup of tea. You're not thinking about every single step. You're just making a cup of tea. It's unconscious. Then you've got conscious competence. And when the example I'm thinking about is when you start typing, you're looking at every single key and trying to remember where they are, and every single keystroke is consciously made. And then as you grow and as your confidence in your skill grows and as your ability improves, you become unconsciously competent. You may even start to touch type and look away from the keyboard because you're really confident as to where all the keys are and your muscle memory is built up and you know how to type, and you move from conscious competence to unconscious competence. Then you have conscious incompetence. You know you're bad at it, don't really care. It gets the job done. But you see, this is where inefficiencies start to build up in a business. You know you're not good at possibly doing your books, okay, and reconciling receipts and all the rest of it. It takes you forever, but you kind of do it because you don't want to spend the £20 an hour it's going to cost you for somebody else to do it. But you see, you're spending more time inefficiently when you could be spending it in one of the other 2 states where you're unconsciously competent. It might be that you're absolutely amazing on the phone to customers. Well, why spend 4 hours being absolutely terrible at doing bookkeeping when you could spend 4 hours being absolutely amazing on the phone? Which one of those moves your business forward towards its goals? And then you have unconscious incompetence. Those are the things you don't know that you're bad at. You don't even know how to do them. Okay, and you might not even know that they need doing. They're just completely outside of your skill set, your mindset. You just don't know about them. And those are the ones where the biggest problems occur, because it's be a little bit like running your business and not knowing that you needed to do the accounts, because eventually you're going to hit a massive problem. And there are many areas in our businesses where unconscious incompetence rules the day, and you don't know what you don't know. And that's why an accountability partner can help you spot those blind spots, because you have to accept the fundamental truth in life, not just in business. You cannot know how to do everything and get it right first time. You need somebody to point out the areas where they can see you're missing some of the vital pieces that you need to move you towards your goals. And having conversations with people outside of your industry, having people who have a completely different skill set or mindset, can really improve your thinking within your business. And if you improve your thinking, you improve your business. Like any skill, the quality of your strategy improves over time if you improve your thinking and your learning and your training. So all of those things go together. And it might be that you need to move your business forward by acquiring a new skill, or paying for somebody to do that thing right now gets you to your goal quicker, because you're not going to have to go through the training to get to the point where you're consciously competent or unconsciously competent. You can just buy in that skill. And again, it's about taking a step back and looking at your business as a process and understanding where your goals are and your timescales and your KPIs and what you need to do, and figuring out what you personally need to do and what you can pay for somebody else to do. And you have to make the numbers stack up, I get that, but there's no point in being in a business that is highly inefficient and bumping along, when you could put in plan to create a more efficient business that in the short term doesn't make as much but has more potential growth. And it's that growth opportunity that many people miss when they are building their businesses, because they don't have that accountability piece. They don't have somebody saying, yeah, well, you're spending a lot of time on this, and this seems to be a real waste of your time. Why aren't you getting somebody else to do that and then spend all of that time building and growing a better business? I've been in so many conversations with people in various groups that I've been in over the years, and you've pointed something out to someone which seems blindingly obvious from the outside, and have the person go, oh, I hadn't seen it like that. And when they explain their viewpoint, you go, oh yeah, we can see how you get there, but actually this is what's happening. And they're like, oh. And if you've ever been to Mastermind, BizHub's mini Mastermind, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The amount of times there's a light bulb moment because somebody suddenly realizes they're looking at the problem through the wrong end of the telescope or something like that. It happens. We get stuck in our viewpoints. We get stuck in our thinking. Having an accountability partner helps push you forward. So the big piece, what can you do about this? The big piece is recognizing that your business needs something like this in it, and you need to have or attend a mastermind, have a mentor or a business coach, because it creates that accountability and it offers you the perspective, it covers your blind spots, and it stimulates creativity. So what are the differences, and who'll be best for your business? So a business coach tends to specify specific skill sets, tends to focus on certain specific problems or areas in your business, and helps you to understand more about those areas, and can be very, very specific with their recommendations. Not all coaches, not everybody who describes themselves as a coach. My research has been far and wide, and some people call themselves a business coach and they're actually a mentor. So just look at the person and what they're offering. A mentor tends to be an older business person, somebody who's had a lot of experience in an industry, or has a very specific skill set that you need help from, and we'll be looking at your business in a wider sense and possibly helping develop you as well, to develop your skill set in your business to make you a better business person overall, so that you're starting to make right decisions in your business. And it's a much more one-to-one relationship. There may be a formal contract, sometimes there's an informal contract. Quite often that money is paid to the mentor, but not always. Sometimes the mentor might take equity in the business. It's a very dynamic relationship, and finding the right person to work with is the key to this. And then you've got masterminds. It's usually a group of 6 to 10 people, obviously very similar in business experience. You don't want it too weighted in one direction. You don't want really inexperienced people and really experienced people in the same room, because one tends to slow the other down. Similar outlooks, but not the same necessarily, because you want that diversity. And they're there to help and advise and support each other and spot those challenging points, which is one of the reasons why we have a mini mastermind in the offering at the BiZHUB. So what do you choose? Well, there's no real clear answer. It's going to be as individual as you and your business and what's right for you now, or right for you at the time you decide to look at it. But you're going to have to ask yourself some things before you get into it. Do you have clear goals? What type of support do you need? What are the strengths and weaknesses of each option? There are many different questions that you need to answer yourself, to ask yourself, and of your mentor. You know, you have to have a really honest relationship with them. Does the communication flow simply, even in a phone call or a conversation? Do you feel like they're listening? And you've got to ask yourself the big question: will I fully commit to this? And that means fully commit, not have somebody that you can pick up the phone and moan to. It's somebody who you can listen and whose opinion you value, that you can action within your business. And those who fully commit get much more out of their coach, mentor, or mastermind. So what is my next step? It's all good having all this information, Stuart, but what is one actionable step that I can take to start implementing this in my business? Well, firstly, go back, look at past talks about productivity, timekeeping, habits. The members area, your login has all of the talks that we've done this year, several months of talks from the previous year as well. So go and review those in any areas you're feeling a little weak. But the best step that you can take is to join the BiZHUB Mini Mastermind. Asking other trusted and experienced business people in your business community can help you quickly resolve problems. I can't tell you how many people have come with quite a thorny issue, talked it through, and realized that their viewpoint is either right or wrong, and what they need to do next. It gets them unstuck. And just for a session to be able to get yourself out of a problem can be worth months of hard work, or working on the wrong thing, or doing the wrong thing, or having a really negative outcome because somebody didn't just point out to you, oh, you've got to think about this when you're doing that. I've been there before and I've done that, and this was the thing I wish I'd known. Because you can't solve a problem if you don't know which questions to ask. And quite often, if you're coming to a problem for the first time, you're not quite sure the shape of that problem or what you can do with it. And the mini mastermind will help you with that. It will get you unstuck and move you forward and help you create a bit of business. You can't buy experience, but you can mix with people who already have been there and done it. But it's not just that, it's about the support and accountability as well. So if you want to get the most out of Mini Mastermind, we run the sessions on the 4th Friday of every month. It's included already in your BiZHUB membership, so we are not asking for a penny more. But before you attend, it's good to know a few things. You know, what direction you want your business to travel in, what's your end goal, are you creating a sellable asset? It's not compulsory to know that, but it can definitely help. Now, we have a document in the members area in the resources that you can download. It's absolutely free, and it will tell you more about how you get the most from Mini Mastermind. It's a short read. It won't take up much of your day. It's 2 sheets long, but it gives you some thinking around the topics that bringing to the mastermind table can really help with. And so hopefully using the ideas and the strategies in this talk will help you get the most from your mini mastermind. That free guide is available from the website, so log in, and I believe the URL once you're logged in is /the-signal-biz-hub. And I really look forward to seeing you there, because the resource, for those who have used it, I'm sure the resource has been really important for their businesses. The people that come back and fully commit to it and come back time and time again, the growth I see in them as a business person and their business is really, really stark. Some people that started Mastermind in the beginning of this year to where they are now, that their demeanor, their attitude, it's just heartening to see when they come and go, yep, I've done that. That's a really difficult thing outside of my comfort zone, but I went for it anyway, and yep, I've done it. So I'm hoping that this talk today will help you make a decision, resolve to jump into and come along to the mastermind, even if it's just to experience it for once and see what I'm talking about. But we have one last thing, and we've been asked many, many times by members over the last few months about doing a bigger mastermind, so each business gets more time. Now, obviously, if you're giving people more time, we have to restrict the numbers. So we want to run a pilot scheme and give people a chance to feel what a proper half-day mastermind feels like, with an hour spent looking at your business and your business problems and discussing where your business goals need to lie, especially coming up through 2021. And so we're looking for 4 business owners, BiZHub members who regularly attended Mastermind or have attended Mastermind regularly in the past, that want to join a half-day Mastermind. And it's a pilot session just to see how we would run it, especially with the lockdown in place. And it's £25 per month each for the pilot. And we're thinking that once the pilot's over, it will be around about the £250 a month. So we're going to start that in early 2021, lockdown pending and various other issues. But if you are interested in being considered for that, because we will look for the best fit, it's not just about picking 4 people, it's about picking a fit that works, that will get the most from each other. Then email emma@signalborden.org and put your hand up and say, yes, I'm interested, please put me on the list. And if you're successful, we will let you know and what the next steps are. And that's it, really. Really, really odd to be this side of the speaker's chair, as it were. And thank you very much for attending. Thank you, Louise, for your wonderful presenting duties, and Emma for her marvelous introduction. That's it. We'll put this up with the talk into the members area, and we look forward to seeing you in the second session. Over to you, Louise.
Thank you, Stu. Yeah, thank you, Stu, so much. So many really, really important topics that you covered there. And we had quite a good reaction actually from in the chat with regard to the mastermind. You know, Angie, Lisa, Lorna, Noam, Sheila are all saying, you know, they are actively involved in the mini mastermind, and they do come along. So all just singing its praises, really. So that accountability is just so really important. So yeah, thank you for sharing all the insights into that, Stu.
I love that Lorna has changed. Oh, I got funny audio. Lorna has changed her mind, and she's now coming to the second session because Stuart's words have made her realise that she needs to spend more time working in her business and not on it. So she's now going to be with us after the break.
We've all been there, Lorna. We've all trapped ourselves with a mountain of work.
I know, it does definitely make the difference. Right, so yeah, we finished with the first session. Just want to talk to you a bit about what we're going to be covering in the second session, so that you know sort of what we're going to be talking about. And it's all that is very much in the news. Emma has completely got her finger on the pulse. Tell us what sort of things that you're going to be talking about in the next session, Emma.
Well, so as we briefly touched on this morning, there's been a lot of changes and updates to existing government financial support for small businesses. So among the things that have been changed are the access to bounce back loans, the length of time that the furlough scheme is going to be in place, the length of time and the number of self-employment grants and the percentages of income that they're going to represent and reflect. So there's also extra money being delivered to the council so that the councils will have more discretionary funding. So we're going to be looking at all of those things and how they affect you guys and your businesses. So what kind of funding and support can you expect between now and the end of March if your business has been impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, which I think all of us have in some way or another. So we've got all the information here. I think it would also be useful to have a little look at who's been to the mastermind and who hasn't, look back on Stu's talk and see if there are barriers to people attending the mastermind that perhaps we don't understand, because I know that out of 40, 50 members, only about half of them actually come to them, and about half of you come. So we'd like to understand, the people who don't come, what's stopping you, and is there something else perhaps that we can provide? We can give a bit more detail on the pilot of the paid mastermind, and let's just talk about how we're all going to get through this winter, really.
Brilliant. I just wanted to say one more thing. We've got the My Town Online, which has been launched now. And I know some of you are already on it, but it's definitely something you should have a look at. Stu, have you got the details on the My Town Online that you can just sort of share with people?
Yeah, it's a local listings for local businesses. We are encouraging people to not just list their business, but link to their website. That's great for SEO. A high quality local website from a authoritative source, being SiGNAL, with a link back to your website will do you wonders. You can link to products. You can put sales blurb in your bio. You can change it, so you could do a Christmas push, or you could just make an offer and a link to that offer. The whole point is about making it as attractive as possible to locals so they can find businesses to support in the local area. We're pushing out with the Whitehall and Borden Regen Company supporting us, messages about it. It's getting traction already, and it's only been launched a few days.
Yeah, we've got 50 businesses on there already, so it really is gathering momentum. So if you want to be involved, send us a message. I think we've got a link that we can probably put in the chat.
I'm just going to put some.
We'll share some more details in the other session as well.
In the next session, we can talk about it a bit more. I just wanted to highlight that to everybody.
But there are two profiles. If you go there, have a look for Sheila Lemons, great example of how to link to products, and Noam Jenkins, a great example of setting up your profile and linking it to Google My Business accounts. So.
Well, we can talk about that more in the next session. I really hope you all come and join us in the next session.
Yes, please do.
But great. Thank you to Stu. Thank you, Stu. A really, really good talk. Stu is going to be in the next session as well to answer any questions, because I'm sure you'll have some burning questions you want to tap into and ask us. We did have a guest here today, Federico Milani. Welcome. If you would like to stay behind, we can just have a quick chat with you about Hub and how it works and all that we've got to offer. But other than that, you're all free to go to have a quick coffee and grab your drink so that you can join us in the next session, which will be just after 1:45. So not long. Okay, see you later.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks, Stu. Bye.
Bye.